boys and girls.
Welcome to the 14th episode of The Worst Talk Show. I'm Angie C. That is handsome boyfriend Dave. And together we are in mourning officially. R.I.P. Eddie Van Halen. I don't even know how we're going to get through tonight, folks, but we're going to get through it together. Okay? Dave, can you talk a little bit about the guitar? So people, almost everybody's,
So.
I don't see anybody popping up yet. Okay, there they are.
Yeah, so I've loved Van Halen since I was a wee lad. And, the cool thing is when you're into music and you have kidlets, you can, influence them. And, the influence that I received as a young boy about music was not good. Not
I was going to say, who?
Not constructive. Okay? Never learn how to... No. All right. But... So anyhow, my oldest son, Connor, who's now in the Air Force, ladies and gentlemen.
We're very
doing pretty well.
Has anyone done any comments? There we go. Nikki T is here. By the way, Nikki T, we got your postcard. We love you. I love getting things in the mail from you. Mwah.
What a random postcard that was. It was like a
great.
homemade one.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So anyhow, I got my kid into Van Halen at an early age.
Hello, Sean O'Brien.
Hey, Sean. So, let me see. His first concert was this concert. He and I went to Van Halen back with David Lee Roth. But Wolfie was playing bass.
Yes.
Okay? Saw them at the Garden. His grandmother got us boardroom seats, which pretty much meant that we saw Van Halen sitting in leather smoking chairs as a chef fed us London broil.
I don't think that's how you're supposed to see Van Halen.
Guys, it was so loud it hurt my ears. It was crazy. It might be the loudest concert I've ever been to.
Yeah, and we should definitely talk about loudest concerts because I've got a few doozies as well.
So this guitar.
And what is it referred as? The guitar?
This is the Frankenstein. Now this one here is it's a knockoff. We're not gonna.
Yeah, we're not
look at
pretend.
Fender headstock. What? Lawsuit. So this is kind of based on the San Dimas Super Strat. One pickup, one knob. And I'm in the process of putting a floating bridge on it.
Jim Pericotti, his loudest concert was Kiss.
I'm sorry.
By the way, the first loudest show in a small club was El Dopa, Middle East Downstairs. I stood way too close to a speaker, and that's when my tinnitus was born.
Are we really talking about El Dopa right now when Eddie Van Halen died?
No. We're just talking about loudest concerts that come up. Wow, second place. Oh, is that Soulfly? Anyway,
all right,
the other loudest concert, and Kay Hanley will attest to this because she and I were together, them Crooked Vultures. John Paul Jones, the man likes it loud. And then some. At one point, we literally had to go outside in the smoking area because it was that loud.
See that? Van Halen. Oh, is it all it's all backwards?
Yes, because we're on Facebook.
Oh,
it's all mirror image.
But this actually is a sticker that we got at the concert for a different thing. We're not going to mention the radio station. They were giving out stickers. The old Mike FM was giving out stickers.
Yeah.
But it looks like a ticket, and it says Van Halen, The Garden, Tuesday, October 30th, 2007.
So that's nice.
So,
it's a little piece of memorabilia for you.
So Connor was 10 years old when we went to Van Halen.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Van Halen is the reason that my son took up guitar. That's his guitar. I bought him that. It's a knockoff from China. But when your kid loves Eddie Van Halen,
listen, I don't know any kid that wouldn't want to play guitar after going to a Van Halen show.
I don't have
honestly.
He played before that because he had this guitar before that.
What is Sean saying, by the way? I leaned up against a PA stack the first time I saw My Bloody Valentine because I'm smart. Oh my God, Sean, it's like we're twinning. Seriously, ridiculously loud shows, and we just harmed ourselves accidentally on purpose.
I think we should just wrap up right now. I can't even deal with these people.
I know,
talking
Dave.
about.
Well, everybody who wants to, say a few words about Eddie Van Halen, this is your safe space.
Well, I'll tell you, Connor's old room.
Yeah.
I took the door off.
Right.
And I painted it like the Frankenstein guitar. His door. So the door to his room was Eddie Van Halen's guitar completely, the whole thing.
When I think Van Halen, a couple things come to mind right away, and specifically Eddie, of course. One is the fact that when I was maybe 13, and I had gone to a local carnival that used to be where I think Eastman Gelatin and Peabody. There's like a big empty field, and they would always throw a carnival in there. And I walked down by myself in my jean jacket with smokes. Like I think there were a couple cigarettes I stole from Mom.
Wow!
And I met some of my friends.
Any
down
patches
there.
on the jean jacket?
And the bobsled or whatever had the loud had.
So let it whip.
Yeah. No, they had Van Halen covering the Kinks. You really got me. Because back then it was all heavy rock and roll that was played on that particular ride.
That's off of Van Halen 1.
So I got off of that. I walked over to the throwing darts game and won myself the most beautiful sky blue Van Halen tapestry. That was,
nobody can see that.
It was quite large.
It was quite large.
And it hung over my bed pretty much until college, I want to say.
When you became too cool for Van Halen.
Before that, it was the half-naked David Lee Roth with the hair down coming out of the pool poster, and then it was just the tapestry. But my other favorite Van Halen memory, I mean, there are many, but working with Brian the Pharmacist, a.k.a. Brian Mulhern, who's now Superstar Cat Country Radio in Providence, he had a Van Halen Velcro wallet. And this is the 90s, mind you, and he had it since the early 80s, and the thing was like disintegrating, and he refused to get rid of it. And he was just, he was one of the first people I thought of, other than Dave, obviously. I had to break the news to Dave. He literally screamed out loud, "F you 2020" to the entire neighborhood when I broke the news about Eddie. But Brian Mulhern Brian Mulhern is having the worst 2020 probably on record. And my heart goes out to you, my brother, because I can only imagine how difficult this particular news was to you. So anybody who talks to Brian the Pharmacist, please make sure you give him an extra air hug from me. Keith Bennett is here.
Hello, Keith.
Keith's, as many people's avatars or profile pictures on their socials is of the Franken guitar.
Frankenstrat, yeah.
The Frankenstrat graphic. That's pretty much across the board. I go on any social media feed that I'm on.
He made his own guitar. Like he just.
It's either a picture of Eddie playing, a picture of Eddie smiling playing, which I'll get to in a minute.
Almost always.
Or that guitar. And beyond everything else that I loved about Eddie Van Halen, the thing that always stayed with me was how joyful he was when he played. He was the first rock guitar god that I saw on MTV as a wee lass who was smiling and laughing and enjoying himself. And because he knew something everybody else didn't. He was the best. Do you know what
Ridiculous.
I mean? And but even you look at Hendrix, you look at Stevie Ray Vaughan, and yes, I'm putting Eddie in that category, of course. Yeah. There was
he changed the whole game.
Obviously, with Stevie Ray Vaughan, I felt like he played the guitar like he was doing naughty things to a lady, and that was his whole vibe. And Hendrix was just on another, Hendrix was just like a shaman. But Eddie was just in love. He was full of joy in sharing these guitar licks. And I imagine that some of his, everybody makes a mistake once in a while. He was just always smiling. It was so beautiful. And I think that's what I'm going to miss absolutely the most, was just the joy he showed off in playing.
But he always, for like the whole a huge amount of their time, he always had a cigarette lit
Well,
and on the head of his guitar.
Yes, that's
You know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
He and John Cougar, the two of them, were just
I mean,
like going down with the ship as far as cigarettes were concerned.
You know,
They
like
just
Panama,
didn't care.
the video for Panama. I think he was maybe playing the
Well, that's
piano
when
or
the
something.
keyboards
And
kinda
he looked
came in.
over and he blew smoke into the.
Yeah.
He blew circles, rings.
Yeah. He
He
was
was
always
just-
smoking.
Yeah.
I don't know if he
So
ever quit.
when I think he did, he actually had mouth cancer, and I think he had part of his tongue removed at one point.
But that was within the last 10 years, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe a little
he
earlier than
definitely,
that.
I mean, you know, don't smoke, kids. That's all I'm going to say. And I say that from somebody who smoked. It's just, why would you do
Casey
that to yourself?
Riddles, we love you.
Hey, Riddles, good to see you. The bar
Casey.
is open.
The song you were thinking about is Eruption, my friend.
Yes.
Oh no, he was talking about. Let me look. I just got a stack of Van Halen. See, kids, these are called CDs. It stands for compact discs. Okay, this is just a couple. This is a few of the Van Halen discs I have. I have them all pretty much, but you know these ones. I just figured I'd bring out like the groundbreaking stuff. You know what I mean? Let me just look here.
Oh, the glasses are coming
I
on.
can't see it. I can't see anything. No, after Running with the Devil on one, right?
Sure.
Pretty hard song, pretty awesome song. Then you go into Eruption.
Eruption into You Really Got Me is probably
One of the
one of the
greatest
greatest
things
one-two punches of all time.
ever.
All time. And what was the other thing we always said about Van Halen, and I said this on ZLX a lot over the years? The world's greatest cover band. And I don't mean that as
I
an
said
insult.
that.
You didn't say that first.
I coined it.
And I did not say it first either.
All
but
right, fair enough. As
you
long
know,
as neither one of us did.
it's not said as an insult at all.
Oh my God.
He's talking about Mean Streets.
Right, Mean Streets. So, let me see. Yeah, Mean Street was the first song on this album. So, I don't know what it goes into there, buddy. All right?
Listen, even Juliana Hatfield had an early, like, deep cut Van Halen song she posted on Twitter today. Nobody was unaffected. Like, you know, across the board, no matter what genre of music you played, you know, you bowed down to Eddie. I don't think anybody had a bad thing to say about him. If you have a bad thing to say about Eddie Van Halen, I'd like to hear it right now.
Okay, look,
I
can say something.
Hey, Mike Maloney.
They didn't treat Michael Anthony that well.
Michael Anthony was the luckiest man
I think that
in rock and roll.
I think he would admit it.
He was
Okay.
He was a great harmonizer, singer. He was not a great bass player. He was very lucky to be there. I'm sorry. Now, you can say what you will about David Lee Roth. He's, you know, I think he just turned into a nightmare. But it was...
Keith Bennett. Listen, don't front, kid. Van Halen 3 is good. Dude, Without You. Look up the song Without You.
Talk about Gary Sharon. Like,
Excuse me.
let's not.
All iterations of Van Halen are
David.
awesome.
No.
Yes.
They're not.
Yes.
They're not.
Because Eddie's in all of them. It's not like Alex went off on his own and just was like, wow, this is the best drumming ever, man. Hey, what? Didn't they have that weird guitar player dude who could like tap and everything? Yeah, Eddie Van Halen, Edward Van Halen.
Mm-hmm. I also love that there's backstory that nobody ever talks about that I reposted on Facebook about the fact that when they first got here, they only spoke Dutch. And their mom was Indonesian.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were put in like these special needs classes, but really it was where they put all the children of color, if you will,
the black kids,
in these classes.
if
Not,
you will.
Well, Hispanic, Latina. But that they threw them all together and they all kind of had each other's back. But it's true, they're immigrants. It's a true immigrant story.
Listen, let's talk about another thing, the early Van Halens, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Eddie Van Halen started as a drummer? Alex is older than Eddie, and Alex saw Eddie playing the drums, and he's like, get off of that, I'm doing it. So Eddie had to take up guitar.
Really?
So if not for Alex being
So
a
we owe it all
jerky
to
big
Alex?
brother, Eddie would never happen the way
All
it
right,
did.
this just in. Keith says, bull crap. Michael Anthony is a beast of a bassist. You spread balderdash and
Flimshaw?
Thank
you, Keith.
I'm sorry, I will die on that hill. Michael Anthony is the luckiest man in rock and roll.
No, there are others that are pretty lucky, though. Let's be honest.
I mean, Andrew Ridgeley had his moment. He was pretty lucky there for a while. But honestly, like, it just, you know... It was Eddie.
I mean, he's no John Oates.
We don't have to, like, lambaste every bass player.
John Oates was not a bass player.
He wasn't?
No, he was the guy with always the guitar.
Oh, okay. Was there a bass player in Hall & Oates?
Listen, it was Hall and Oates. They used session musicians.
All I care about are the sweet, sweet harmonies.
Ha! Sean O'Ryan!
John Oates!
Now, did you say it before I said it, or did you agree?
I think you guys said it at the same
time. Yeah, at the same time.
Riddles,
yeah.
I saw Van Halen with Gary. He's awesome, but not as the lead singer of Van Halen.
Right,
Thank you. I don't think Gary's a terrible singer.
No, not at all.
You know, or frontman. He just had no business being in that band
Listen,
whatsoever.
if Eddie Van Halen picks you, you have business. It's the way it is.
Yes.
It's the way it is.
So Wolfie broke the news, as far as I could tell.
John Oates
on
played
Twitter.
mustache.
Yes, he did, Sean. That's great. And I just felt so bad. I mean, that's the other thing. If you're of a certain age, you were there through the entire courtship, marriage, and, you know, breakup of Eddie Van Halen and Valerie Bertinelli, who was somebody we had in our living room once a week on television in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then they get together, and then they have a son, and they name him Wolfgang, which was, like, at the time, like, that's so cool, you know? And the fact that Wolfie grows up to be a bass player, it's funny, there was a Hard Times article, like, last week, and for those of you who don't know what Hard Times is, it's like The Onion, but for rock. And
G.E. Smith
punk
was the
rock,
guitar
really.
player, Keith.
And they said that Eddie finally coming to terms with the fact that his son became a bass player, which is just like... they made it seem like he was coming out of the closet as a bass player years ago. But I love that he got to play with his dad, and it's so sad that he was the one to sort of announce to the world, and it was just, you know, I think the last line was, "I love you, Pop," and you're just like, ah! And it's one of those things that it doesn't hit me as hard as maybe it hits you, obviously, but it's something like Vernon Reid from Living Colour, said, this isn't how grief works. You might be sad right now, but it's going to hit you, and it's going to hit you in waves, and it's just going to take a while. Like, right now it's the pandemic, and everything's upside down and topsy-turvy, but when the dust settles, you're still going to have that moment where you go, oh my God, Eddie Van Halen's not here anymore. You know? In the same way, we still have that, like, oh God, Chris Cornell isn't here. Oh God, MCA isn't here. Like, things that, you know, you grieve and you have your moment, but then you just realize that's it. I never got to see him play. I never got to see him play. I'm glad that you did. And I'm glad that you brought your son.
Me too.
And I know plenty of people that did, and they all had a good time.
How cool is that as a 10-year-old?
That's pretty cool. Nikki T. Wolf had to play bass. Can you imagine the pressure the world would put on him if he played guitar?
That's true.
Well said, Nikki T. Perfect.
That's
well
truth.
Said.
It's like Jason Bonham. You know? Of course, his dad was dead when he played drums.
Well, Jason has lived in his father's shadow his whole life, but he's a pretty good drummer. I've actually seen Jason play.
Right. No. I'm saying,
good.
Think about what it's like. Except that, of course, his dad had already passed away before he...
Well, that's true. Yeah, a little bit different. And Valerie Bertinelli had lovely things to say about him on social media as well. I have no idea...
I did not see that.
I have no idea who Eddie has been with all this time, because once it was over with Valerie Bertinelli, I was like, I'm done! Like, not really interested in who you're hanging out with if it's not...
Yeah,
Valerie
I mean, the fighting between Dave and the Van Halen brothers was lousy, you know, and that kind of stuff.
Well, and DLR, I believe, the one thing I saw that he did post was a picture of he and Eddie backstage during their most recent reunion shows.
And it doesn't look like it's a happy...
It's not a happy...
It's forced.
Yeah, it's forced, and he says, like... Those are, you know, we had some wild, crazy time. Whatever it was, I'm about to swear and I don't want to, but it was a beep, beep. sentiment, and he should have just not posted anything.
Yeah.
The high road, dude. You know what I mean? So let's get on with the other portions of the show. We can still, of course,
What
talk
do you guys
about
think of Eddie Van Halen?
But you know, we're trying to talk Dave off the ledge here a little, so maybe we could also just kind of distract. So let's distract. The Worst Talk Show, we advise people on what to watch, what to listen to, and what to cook and what to eat, based on what we did the past week. So, first up, we're going to talk about some shows that we've been watching. We are officially elderly people on the inside because we are now on season 2 of The Great Pottery Throwdown.
Man, it is a nail biter.
And still completely riveted.
Man, they are talented.
Yeah, and I just can't get over the fact that, and it's funny, I was confessing this to Kat Corbett the other night, and she was dying laughing. She's like, you know I'm making fun of you, but I will totally check it out. But the first thing she said was, are you going to have a wheel? Are you going to bring home a pottery wheel? And I was like, I'll tell you right now, Dave will bring one home before I even ask.
We have to watch Ghost now. Because now pottery's cool.
That's not what that leads to. We don't need to watch Ghost, like, ever. Ditto.
Yeah, but didn't Whoopi win an Oscar for that?
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with pottery. Everybody should read Running with the Devil by their tour manager, Noel Monk. It's awesome. All right, Keith Bennett, I will totally read that. I would love to read that, actually. Wow. So there you go. Another thing you should read if you're mourning the loss of Eddie Van Halen and you're revisiting your Van Halen youthful past. That might be fun. We also watch Repair Shop because we literally had to. Things have been so bad. And we try to offer this show as a respite, obviously. But even the people keeping that PMA and trying to keep y'all up, have our moments. And if, like, things get really bad, we
need a double shot of English television.
Yeah, and so we watched some more Repair Shop.
Because they're like, the average age of the person that brings something in to be repaired is like 150 years old. And
we feel positively youthful in comparison. And
these are me mum's wooden teeth.
I'm
they
also
will bequeathed to her by Her Majesty, Her Majesty Queen Victoria.
Oh my God. You are the handsome boyfriend, Dave. However, there are certain faces you make that I'm like, please don't ever do that again. My goodness. Casey, did you watch Utopia? Has anybody taken our advice?
Utopia, fool! He was.
Watched Utopia?
Guys, I'm going to just stop I'm going to go watch it again right now.
Stop the process.
Shut this off.
Speaking of watching things again, so we talked about Woke on Hulu a couple weeks ago. It's about my friend Keith, who's he's a comic book artist, graphic novel artist.
He does a comic strip. He's a stripper.
So Keith and I went to Salem State College together, which is now Salem State University.
My God.
And Keith was also in the hip hop band Marginal Prophets out in San Francisco. He's just an awesome dude, and I've been raving about his comic strips for years, and now there's a TV show. However, if we want to get a second season of Woke on Hulu, you not only have to watch once, you got to watch it again. So if you watched it and you liked it, do me a favor and watch it again, because we like to keep our friends employed even when we're not.
Nikki T says, Woke is the bomb.
Awesome. Glad you liked it, Nikki T. So we also started a new show. Again, I hate having to constantly bring up Apple TV Plus because I know a lot of you don't have it. Although if you do buy any sort of Apple product, you get it for free for like a year. Just keep that in mind. We started Tehran.
Very good.
So far, very good.
Yep.
Great acting. It's a slow burn. And a bit of a build suspense-wise.
And it's mostly in Arabic, is it?
Yeah. So we're watching everything with subtitles, right, even when it's in English.
But it's like a Mossad agent in Iran.
Yeah. She gets like stuck behind enemy lines, if you will. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to more of those. But what we didn't get to a few weeks ago is that we finally wrapped up Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is the balm that will soothe you during these trying times.
That's balm. B-A-L-M.
It's like and I know I said this before, it's like Adam Sandler, but for slightly smarter people. It makes you feel so good, and it's hilariously funny, and almost every line or scene in the show has an Easter egg where you'd be like, they're referencing that, or oh my god, that was that. It's just wonderful. Check it out if you can.
Keith Bennett, you gotta watch it so that you can see the boss. The boss, the woman, I forget her name. All I know is we call her the boss. And that's
the woman that owns the footy team.
The soccer club. But this woman, Hannah... Come on, help me out here.
I have no idea what her name is.
You're the name person.
She's tall, blonde, and built like a ba-ba-ba-boom.
And
right up Keith's alley, by the way.
She actually played the... Shame.
Yeah.
From
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
The woman that made Cersei walk, and she rang the bell.
Yeah.
Shame.
Well, let me tell you something. She cleans up really good.
Yeah, really good. I really didn't want to watch it. It was like this weird fish out of water. I'm not the hugest Jason Sudeikis fan necessarily.
Let me tell you, he killed it.
And I was told today by somebody else who I was talking to about Ted Lasso, it's from the creators of Scrubs as well. And it's the main guy. I don't want no Scrubs. And I never watched Scrubs, but I will say this, they gave Colin Hay quite a gift on Scrubs. They did a whole episode based on Overkill. And the music is very much on point, so I feel like there's a lot of if you watch Scrubs, you'll probably like this as well.
It's good.
Keith Bennett. Jason Sudeikis is the only lacrosse player who isn't an a-hole.
He's like the only lacrosse player who isn't an a-hole.
Probably.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to give Ted Lasso its due. If you have a way to watch it, please do so.
Yeah,
it'll definitely make you feel better.
If you're into, Premier League, you'll like it. There's various reasons. If you like big blonde chicks who own sports teams.
And if you're like myself and Nikki T, hot dudes with British accents, it's a win.
Half naked in the locker room.
Yeah, definitely. We also started watching this military movie that starred Clint Eastwood's son and
Scott Eastwood. It's called The Outpost.
Yeah.
Now, it's based on a true story. It was written by Jake Tapper. And let me tell you something.
I tapped out.
She didn't like it.
Jake tapped out early and went upstairs because I was like, this is ridiculous.
Guys,
it's like propaganda, and I'm out. Like, it was very bro-down-ish.
Well,
it wasn't really a
all they were doing was capturing the camaraderie of being stuck together with a bunch of guys in in like a barrel waiting to get shot.
Yeah.
Okay. The way this thing went down, it's a real thing. Two of the men that were there actually both got the Congressional Medal of Honor, and they lived through it, that was the first time in like 60 years that more than one person won the Congressional Medal of Honor and lived through the battle. It's pretty intense. And
it's not a great movie.
It's not a great movie, but I enjoyed it, and I started to like it more as I watched. The bottom line is
What's the bottom line, Dave?
Well, this episode actually caused the Army to rewrite the rules on setting up a base.
Well, yeah, because they were just it was like
they were like, okay, look, it's all mountains around it. Yeah. We're gonna put it right in the valley at the bottom.
Yeah.
It was just.
I gave it a shot, and it was like, no, that's a no for me, dog. More importantly, let's talk music. We had a great music week.
Did we just go through everything we watched? Lovecraft Country.
All right. So there are two things we've been watching every week. I know. I'm getting there. There are two things we've been watching every week, hoping it'll blow our minds, and it's not really blowing our minds. One is Raised by Wolves. Ridley Scott. How dare you?
Listen,
I don't know where the hell this thing is going, but it's a snooze
I love Ridley
fest.
Scott. Let me tell you something. I love me some Ridley Scott.
Yeah, who doesn't? This is
let me tell you,
terrible.
I don't know where they were going with this.
I don't get it.
From the production to the like it just wasn't awesome. And then when we like, oh wow, let's see the last, it's the season finale. Oh, this should be great.
Was that even the season finale?
Well,
we're not even sure.
When you hope the episode is the season finale,
yeah, you're in
it wasn't
trouble.
that good.
And the guy from Vikings is in it. The guy that plays Ragnar on
Vikings.
He is
not likable.
And not at all. And he's like a smoke show in real life. I usually enjoy watching.
Gross to look at.
And this thing,
yeah,
terrible. The other show being Lovecraft Country.
It's got its moments.
It's got its moments, but as a whole, it's going nowhere. And I need to know where it's going.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a not a serial, but a anthology. It's almost like that, where it's a story that's happening, but they go off and they follow like other people, all different characters,
right.
And it's just.
I mean, the imagery is amazing.
Some of the
music
stuff they
and
do.
The scenes are fantastic, but there doesn't seem to be a cohesive thread happening,
and it can
and you
be
kind of don't care.
It kind of can be heavy-handed with the social justice thing.
Yeah, it's very heavy-handed with social justice, and that's fine. But
and then look, can we talk about the real thing that I'm upset about?
What are you upset about?
Those two little girls.
Okay, so
they freak me out.
So there's a lot of magical stuff in this, not to give too much away. But the little sister gets cursed by somebody with some, it's
with
not
nasty,
voodoo, but it looks
with a
like
nasty
voodoo.
loogie on her forehead by this cop, this white
and
cop.
And so she starts seeing a drawing from the cover of Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Right.
And
the girl with the little braids sticking out.
Yeah, but there's two of them. And basically,
and they have,
it's
like teeth
what was that
and
show?
Crazy eyes.
What was the movie after Get Out?
Us.
Okay, it's very Us-esque.
And
the way they move,
and
like
oh
try to like go
Lord.
after her. Dave is
get
like a little girl, like
out.
Ah! And I was like, okay.
I'm like, wait a minute, she's a little kid. They're not gonna kill the little kid. I hope.
So it was definitely really scary, and also just really nutso with that whole, the woman who drinks a potion and becomes a white woman.
Yeah.
And the
they
skin
have this
rips off of
this
her.
brick. They have this black lady with very, very healthy lungs.
Yeah.
We'll say.
Oh, she's a smoke show.
She's
from
smoking.
top to bottom.
She's smoking,
she's
right?
A smoke show.
And not a small girl smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's thick.
I
can say that as a
and they
rather
have
large,
her,
chubby girl.
And they have her in the skin of this like fairly svelte white woman. And then
when she changes,
she starts to bust out. So the skin just starts bursting open.
It's disgusting to watch.
It's crazy disgusting, really but awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but it's like cringeworthy, and yet you can't look away.
Casey Riddles, my nickname is Lovecraft. Okay, no, it's not.
So that's all the stuff that we've been watching. And I have some really good music news, other than the passing of Eddie Van Halen. And
that's not good news.
And Johnny Nash. Was it Johnny? I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
Did he pass away?
All obstacles in my way. Yeah, he passed away as well. And of course, last week we had
everything.
We had Helen Reddy and Mac Davis. Like it's like a free for all.
Yeah, I mean, how would they ever put a Muppet Show on nowadays if they had it?
New AC/DC came out today.
I haven't listened to it.
I sent it to you.
Haven't listened to it. I was busy.
It's as you would expect.
It's AC/DC.
It's a great AC/DC song. Sean said he loved Johnny Nash. Johnny Nash produced a bunch of early Bob Marley stuff. Went down to Jamaica, fell in love with the music down there, and was a big producer, putting up money to get these guys all recorded. And then he had sort of a second chapter, a rebirth as a musician, and recorded "I Can See Clearly Now," which became a big hit. So the AC/DC song is fine. It's great. It's AC/DC. It's not earth-shattering, but I'm sure there'll be at least one awesome track on that record, as with all AC/DC records.
Keith Smith.
Yeah, so Keith Smith, Cobalt 60, C60, Dead Star Cult. Keith has a new Well, the album is forthcoming. He let us listen to the single, which now I can't remember the name of it.
It's hot, heavy.
It's so heavy and awesome. I will post the name of the song.
That's really good.
I would
Now, wait
have
a minute.
to go
Dead
look
Star
for it.
Cult is the new thing, right?
Yeah, so the new band name, if you will, the new project name is Dead Star Cult.
We're calling it DSC
But
because
we
we're
love
cool.
Keith Smith. He's just like, he's one of my favorite people, and I was so happy to reconnect with him a few years ago during
You meet
the
him,
Rumble.
he's super nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
You meet him, and he's really nice. When we met him that time, he was very nice to me. And then you listen to the music, and you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like-
just, it's right in that sweet
Oh,
pocket
man.
of like 90s,
90s
really
hard,
heavy, like
yeah.
early 90s, really heavy grunge. And I just want to get the name of the song right. So I'm going to come back here and let you know. So it's called No Better, the name of the song we listened to. It's really good. So
It's rocking.
I'll be really excited to
Look for it. Is it on
to
anything?
share for
Is it
you.
on Bandcamp or anything?
It's I'm not sure it's released yet.
Mhm.
Thought I'd give you an early release of the new song. It will be on Spotify, I'm
Look
sure.
for it. It's good.
But we'll post as soon as it's absolutely live.
It rocks.
But it's great news. Like, I love Keith. I'm so glad he's making music. And I think all the guitars are all him on this. Like, it's just, it's really great.
Yeah.
It hits your sweet spot for sure. We also heard new music from the Hoodoo Gurus, which was exciting. I mean, it's Hoodoo Gurus, but
It sounded, it was so weird. I'm like, wow, this sounds like the Hoodoo Gurus.
we were supposed to go see them this year because they were finally touring, and we were so happy. And of course, you know, the world burned down. And
Hey, didn't you one time take the Hoodoo Gurus to Tower Records?
yes, I did. I went record shopping with the two main dudes, Dave and the other dude from Hoodoo Gurus. I was with Amy Davis. We were both working for WMWM, Salem State Radio, and we were with Jeff Dotis, who was the record rep for whatever label they were on at the time. Sorry, I can't remember, Jeff. And we ended up. It was a crazy day. It was the day I had my interview at the Phoenix to become an intern for Kurt St. Thomas at FNX. So it was like a life-changing
But
day.
before we go that far afield, you guys were in Tower Records, right?
No, so this is the same day. I'm trying to
I
tell
understand that. Didn't they play the Hoodoo Gurus?
You literally just screwed the pooch on that story.
Did I just
Yeah,
step all
you
over
just
it?
stepped all over it.
All right, I'm going to take the rest of the show
I was
off.
trying to set the scene. So I start the day by having this great interview, trying to get an internship for Kurt St. Thomas, and he was like, "You're in. All you have to do is go interview at the Phoenix. It's no big deal." So I go all the way to town. I interview at the Phoenix. It goes really well. I'm officially an intern. My life is officially about to change in a million different ways. And the next thing you know, I am with the Hoodoo Gurus, Amy Davis, and Jeff Dotis, and we are in Tower Records in Boston, and we're record shopping. And I looked back at my journals, and I believe Dave was looking for some like James Brown for his collection and some other stuff. So we're in there, and now somehow the management in the store finds out that the Hoodoo Gurus are there. I have no idea how this happened. It was a very low key. We were just record shopping.
Of course, that was after Angie went up and told him, "Hey, these are the Hoodoo Gurus."
Anybody who knows me back then knows I would never do that. And so now the Hoodoo Gurus are playing on the speaker system in Tower Records as we're shopping for records. And I just looked at the lead singer and I was like, so does this, what is this like when you're record shopping and all of a sudden they're playing your music in the store? And he's like, it's weird and honestly a little embarrassing. And I was like, that's what I figured. And then we left. But it was such a weird...
I'm so sorry I ruined that great story.
But that one day was a great day for me.
Yes.
And I completely forgot about it.
Would you say it was a big red letter day?
Really? I completely forgot about it and went back and looked at my journals, and there it was. And I'm so happy.
By the way, Angie keeps journals, or did.
I'm so glad I kept journals in the 90s because
But
who remembers anything? We were high
guys,
all the time.
It's Dear Diary. Today, I was at
It doesn't start off Dear Diary.
Part of it is in crayon.
A typical
stickers
journal page has about
Hello Kitty stickers.
Has about 15 bands written on the top, and those are all the bands that I had either seen that day or that week. And sometimes it's just I'll show you pictures of them. It's insane how many shows I went to. And a lot of it is embarrassing. A lot of it is about unrequited love. I had a lot of crushes on unavailable, unattainable men. And I had the worst taste in men in the 90s and no game whatsoever, pretty much.
What are you trying to say?
It got better, is what I'm trying to say, obviously. So there is a lot of like, oh, God, 90s, Angie, you're falling for that again? And again? Oh, I forgot all about that. Let's move on. There's certainly a lot of embarrassing things, but it's nice that I wrote in great detail about some really huge FNX and music-related moments that I happen to be lucky enough to be a part of. And so I'm really grateful, and at some point I will write something and share it with everybody. Riddle says, I removed that time. I remember that time we did Susie Sunshine shots at Axis, or did we? Of course we did. We did Susie Sunshine shots all the time upstairs at X Night at Axis. Susie Sunshine was a bartender, who many of you know, Susie Laramie, who went on to end up being the ex-sister-in-law of my sister's best friend, which is insanely weird. And we now all live in the same town, and we see each other all the time. And I just love that Susie Sunshine is still in my life. So there you go. She also works at the recreational shop in Salem, the new one, which name I can't remember
right now. Is it a gym?
On Highland Ave. No, it's
the
kind where you get treats and whatnot.
Are we still talking about things we listen to?
100% recreational. Yes, we are. We have more. I just talked about when I worked at WMWM, 91.7 FM.
They're crushing
Salem
it lately.
State. I think it's all automated right now. I don't think their jocks are
Well,
back.
the robots are crushing it.
The music is incredibly good. I was in the car, mucking the Myers, the Sheila Divine. I mean, everything. And I've hit Shazam, which I never do, 100 times in the car because they don't tell you what song's playing. So I've just been hitting Shazam over and over again. The music is so on point. If you're in the North Shore area and you can get it, I urge you all to listen. As far as I can tell, I can't find an online app or listen to it online right now. Maybe it's just down because of the pandemic.
I'll
keep looking.
Emailed a dude the other night. Like I swear to God,
because
I emailed this dude.
This is not how Dave emails. Dave's on his phone emailing with thumbs only.
So anyway, I looked online and it said that at this certain time that these songs that I enjoyed were playing. It was Double D's show.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, so you thought you had a
listen, is it a special show just for me? Because it felt that way. It was good. Now, I looked at some information that I might have had on Facebook, and it said, you know, it gave this person's name, and their name was a D and a D. And it said that
you're doing some Facebook sleuthing?
And then it said that they were a former program director at said WMWM.
Oh, I actually know who that is.
So I was like...
He's not on the show anymore.
I get it.
I don't even think he works there anymore.
He might not.
No, I don't think he does.
But he has an email waiting in his inbox from yours truly saying, hey, did you pick all that music? Because I really like it, and I think you're cool.
Anyway, if you're driving around town and you can no longer listen to the station you used to work for because it's too painful, may I suggest WMWM. New Deftones, I love it. I love
Listen,
it. It's not for everybody, but if you're a Deftones fan, there's no way. It's undeniable. It's a great record. I even played a few tracks for Dave, and he was like, it's pretty good. And he doesn't really like them. So that's one of the bands that we don't necessarily fight over. It's just not his thing, and it's fully my thing.
Yeah, I mean, you say they're the Deftones. I think they're the Tone Defs. It's no big deal.
Wow, that was like a grandpa joke.
Well, well, can we hurry up the show? I gotta go watch the pottery show.
Yeah, that was
I gotta go watch my
bad.
stories. Listen, are we gonna give Riley Somack any kind of air right now?
Deaths. We're not done. We're not done by a mile.
Let me tell you something. Fun with friends. Buy it.
So this is
on
the
Bandcamp.
new tune from Riley, who's from
He's got
the Rupert
3
Selection, who we love.
It's like a 3-song EP, and it's one of those things like give what you feel like you should give.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Riley. He's definitely not in it for the money. I can tell you that right now. The kid will literally give you the shirt off his back if you're like, wow, that's a great shirt.
And if it's after a show, it's kind of sweaty.
I know, but
honest,
he's
right?
he's so sweet and kind, and he's sort of like, if he, you know, like perhaps he's from the 60s.
Yeah, but
the
he's
inner
different.
spirit there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just love it.
I'll just tell you, the new song, I like it.
Well, I can't wait to hear it, Dave. You didn't send it to me, Dave. I sent you the new AC/DC
It was last
today.
night. I might have, bought the 3 songs for $10. Whatever. Well, listen, you got to let them know that it's worth something. I said, I sent him a little message. I said, Riley, you keep rocking, buddy.
Okay, we are on a very strict budget. We do not have $10 to give anybody right now.
I only bought 3 songs.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Well, that reminds me, I have to buy worship stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk food. We're on to the food. Although Riddle says he's on Team Dave when it comes to the Deftones.
That's right, Casey. I knew I liked you.
Fine, Riddles. Be that way. You don't have to like all the hard stuff. I think I came up with the perfect rub. I've been talking a lot about
food.
the rubs. Chicken thighs are the new greatest thing because they're cheap, they're flavorful, and you put them in that salt brine we've already talked about. Take them out, wash them off, put them in a
They're
little
really
rub.
hard to ruin.
They're hard to ruin.
Like, you can dry out a chicken. You could have the nicest chicken breasts, but you can dry that thing out.
Yeah, and so if Sean O'Brien is still there, and I'm not sure he is because we are up against some stiff competition tonight. Abby Barrett's
Apple cider, fool.
Tonight, and a few other people. The rub, I just sort of pulled like a rabbit out of a hat last night. It's
with a bat?
Dry mustard powder, onion powder, garlic powder, brown sugar, a pinch of adobo, salt, pepper, and a pinch of cinnamon. Oh, good, Sean, you are here.
Yes, yeah.
And is that just insane of me to do? Because it tasted amazing. Oh, that's so funny. Nikki T's got Abby on the laptop and us on her phone.
Really?
Oh, I love that. Yes, and I love Abby Barrett. I love everybody in the band, and I'm sorry you guys scheduled an event on Wednesday night at 7:30.
I mean, we were here first.
We really were, and nobody checked with us, so there you go.
Nobody cares.
So Sean, do you approve of that rub? I mean, it worked out really well, but I feel like, did I like cross some, invisible line as far as using
I'm gonna
all
have
of
Angie
those
rub it on me
together?
later.
Oh, I needed that. That was good.
You're not
Can
the
I
only
just
one
tell
who
you
needs it.
guys, I've had like the day from hell. I have really amazing health insurance through my day job, and I switched over to them at the beginning of this year. I wasn't able to even physically meet my PCP until July because of the pandemic. So now I'm trying to get as much done in this window before we get locked down again with the second wave of COVID. And if you think it's not coming, let's place a bet because I'm going to win. And so I am at some sort of like test or doctor's appointment from now until we get shut down again. It's just constant.
2 today.
2 today. I got an EMG today because I'm having some weird stuff happening on my left side. Tingling. And also when I'm sleeping at night, my left side is on fire and it forces me to wake up and I have to flip sides and then flip back. And of course, there's a million things it could be. So I had to get a million tests to figure out what it isn't. So it's nothing bad. I've had MRIs. I've now had ultrasounds. And today I had an EMG. Do you guys know what an EMG is? Because it's awesome.
They make awesome pickups, guys.
Needles.
They make awesome pickups, man. I think the Deftones use them, man.
First they put
Active electronics.
first they put electrodes on you, and then they stick needles in, and then they zap you to make sure that one of your nerves isn't damaged. So that happened on my hand, and then it happened on my leg, and the back of my neck, and the bottom of my spine. So that was super great, and that was at like 8:30 this morning. No, 9:30.
But it's like a circuit, right? They have an electrode on you, and then they stick the needle in somewhere else, and the electrode picks up the needle. Yeah. And if there's like interference on the computer, they know. But it sounds like white noise, right? It's like loud, staticky.
You know what it sounds like when you put a stethoscope toy on as a kid, and you can hear that noise it makes? That's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah. Sean approves of my rub, by the way, but agrees EMGs are the effing worst. They really are. And then I had an ultrasound just now, which was a walk in the park comparatively.
I did it in the other room.
Oh my God, because they, they saw something in the MRI and they just want to rule it out. So I'm fine, but so much stuff going on. And in the middle of all this, I had a 90-day prescription magically disappear from my mailbox on Friday, which I just found out about today.
I have a feeling we're gonna find it somewhere, and I'm gonna go, oh yeah, I put it in the dryer because I thought you were gonna be taking your clothes out.
The thing that stinks about this is that when we go back and ask for it to be replaced by the health insurance, they're gonna think that we're trying to get something for free and that we're selling it or whatever, because it's a behavioral health, it's an antidepressant.
I don't want to think about it. It's too depressing.
I'm really upset that somebody may have taken something out of my mailbox, to be honest with you. But I'm more upset that I may have to actually pay them without the coverage, and I can't do that right now. We are stretched extremely thin, which is why we're eating cabbage and chicken thighs and making it taste like,
we ate all the cabbage.
Classy food.
Sorry, guys. If you're looking for cabbage at the store, like those,
it's all here.
Like those guys took it.
The funny thing, for me, the best food has always been peasant food. It's the food that are the most inexpensive cuts of protein, and then the vegetables nobody else wants.
I misunderstood that. I thought that you went out into the world. If you came upon a peasant eating, you would steal it, and it tasted better because you had stolen it from them.
That's what you thought?
Yes.
Okay. Peasant food is better, just like Southern barbecue is better. Like, they take these tough cuts of meat and they smoke them for 24 hours.
Because they don't live high on the hog.
Oh my God.
They get all the knuckles and the tails.
My point is that
and
poor people are, what's the word I'm looking for?
They're like...
resourceful.
Resourceful. That's what I was thinking.
Necessity and invention and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's giving birth all the time.
Necessity is the mother of invention. And so we're making really cheap cuts taste really good here because we are on a budget. At least for now. So, there we go.
We're on a low budget.
I also made him go to Ocean State Job Lots and buy every Bear Creek cheddar broccoli soup mix he could find.
Guys, it's fantastic. Have you tried it yet?
Everybody in the house loves it, and I add extra fresh broccoli to it and some extra cheddar, and it's perfect.
But wait, what's the secret ingredient?
Love?
No.
A little extra salt?
No.
What? Oh, we always pick up a rotisserie chicken to go with it so that you can just take off some warm chicken.
Rip the flesh off a rotisserie chicken and throw it in there!
And you got it. So we did a lot of that this weekend. We had leftovers yesterday. What else did we do? Oh, I did want to bring one more thing up about cooking. And cooking and eating on a budget. And we've officially... Oh, no, we've got 6 minutes left. I thought that said 8:34. Can we talk about ranch dressing? Never liked it in a bottle, ever. But when I was a kid, we used to get the packets and make it with the mayo and the milk.
Okay, Hidden Valley Ranch?
Yeah. That's it. They invented it. It's from Hidden Valley. Like, it's actually a thing. It's like a secret recipe. So you get the packet and you make it by hand. That was actually my job as a little kid in the family. I was allowed to make that dressing. And my mom, like, that was my job. So I completely forgot about it until we Brady Bunched up and we had kids that ate ranch dressing. And I was like, have you guys ever had the real stuff? Like, from the actual packet?
Real stuff.
And they were like, no. And we made it. And now they were like,
they won't eat anything else.
Nothing else but the real ranch.
The real ranch.
And so I'm just telling you, if you guys love ranch and you've never had the original, the OG ranch from the packet with the mayo and the milk, we also use oat milk. We don't use cow milk.
You know, I like to just take a packet, rip it open, pour it into my mouth, and then drink some milk with it and swish it around. It's tangy.
And, by the way, lactose intolerant man loves to drink milk and forget.
No, I don't. I don't love drinking milk.
No, but you do love eating ice cream and yogurt.
Totally different thing.
Totally not a different thing.
Listen, baby cows don't eat ice cream.
Riddle says ranch dressing on everything. I don't disagree. You know, it's good to dip like pizza in.
Wait. You're a blue cheese girl.
I am a blue cheese girl.
Sure.
Real blue cheese, not something that sits on a shelf in the store. The kind that needs to be refrigerated. And honestly, one of the best blue cheese dressings I've ever had is right down the street at the 3 Cod in Marblehead. And I need to go buy like a pint of it. They actually sell it. It's so good. Oh, it's delicious. So much blue cheese crumbles in the blue cheese. It's quite delicious. So we're going to wrap it up. It's been kind of a weird night. We had a lot of competition on the live stream. But please remember, you guys are all the stars of the show tonight. And this episode 14...
Why am I here then?
Because you look good on my arm.
I don't look that good.
Your arm candy. Handsome boyfriend Dave. They're not looking at me. They're looking at you.
They're looking at this guy.
So,
he's new to the family.
Oh, yeah.
Come here, boy.
Yes, on the budget, Dave still found a way
Wait
to bring
a
home
minute.
Star Wars
Ocean
toys.
State job lot. Guys, that's one good-looking fella. Now, we're not going to hold it against him that he's from the Solo movie. Okay? But he is an Imperial Patrol Trooper. So he's it's like a cross between a Stormtrooper and a Scout Trooper. See his armor? And he's got the little blaster that the Scout Troopers on the bikes. He rides one of those cool bikes, guys.
Okay. Are you done? Because I was trying to tell them that they're superstars on our show.
$6!
And you can see this episode. They all show up on the Abington Abcam YouTube page Friday nights. The episode that you just were part of this week, Friday night. Also, they get played regularly, but it takes a little bit longer on the Community Access Television channel. And we are now on 10 channels across the state. There's one in Vermont.
Wow, Angie, that's amazing.
I think Provincetown Public Access we're on. And we haven't even asked yet. We haven't even done the pitch yet. It's just that all these stations liked our content and they're playing it. So thank you guys very much for playing us. We love you. We want to be the new Wayne and Garth. Please.
We have a big extended family.
We're not
It's just family people putting us on around the country. It's all. I have my mother had a lot of brothers and sisters. This is huge. It's just a huge family thing.
Okay.
Yes. Thank God they moved all over the country.
Oh yeah. No, they're not watching us. Maybe a couple of our relatives, maybe. Well, you know what's funny is I think about our exes and the fact that they may be up in the middle of the night flipping channels and see our mugs and see how awesomely happy we are together and that we're having a show. And
we have a show.
They might like throw stuff at the TV and I'll be like, hey.
We have a show!
So anyway, thank you guys very much. We love you. We'll see you next week. You can check this episode, episode 14, this Friday night on Abcam YouTube, and we always have the links for you. And then you can watch us every Friday night at 9 p.m. Check your local listings, and if you don't see it, ask your provider to pick up the worst talk show.
We assure you,
guys.
It's the worst.
Good night. We love you. And
rest in peace, EVH.
Rest in peace.
We love you.
Eddie Van Halen. We love you.